Hi folks, welcome back to Clear Lake, Iowa, beautiful Clear Lake, Iowa. As you probably recognize that whistle, that song of Virgil Ward of Championship Fishing. We'll never forget the guy, he was so good. I wish they'd bring the programs back again. But anyway, today folks, we've got this beautiful, original 1959 Evinrude 5.5 horsepower motor. It's a model 5518. It's an unusual motor because probably most of you people know that Evinrude began existence, started in 1909. Now if you want to figure in years, that's 111 years ago. Well, this motor here was a 1959 model, so this was their golden anniversary motor. Now we're not sure, I was talking to my son Chris about it, and he didn't know if they made a 100-year Jubilee motor or not. But anyway, we've got the Golden Jubilee, that's the 50, and it's all original, and this thing just runs like $1 million, really. Just runs like $1 million. But anyway, folks, we're going to crank this thing up, and you never heard anything. Good old OMC back in the, not these Japanese motors. Look at this little baby. Look at that. One crank. Just purrs like a kid. And I got to show you something with this motor. Look at this thing. And how quiet it is. My goodness. Goodness gracious, if you had this up in Canada, trolling for walleyes, you'd have to throw the walleyes out of the boat. You'd have so many of them. Isn't that just wonderful? Listen to that. Listen to her purr. This here's the island right to the right of us here. That's a gift of, I forget the name of the lady. I think the National Conservatory owns it now, but thank goodness it's up here on the lake for perpetuity, so we'll always have it. But we're going to kind of give it the gas here and move it around here a little bit. And for a 5.5 horse motor, you got plenty of zip. You guys see one tied up there? It's really fun to run an engine like this. Quiet, nice, smooth. Don't you just wish you had your line here, Chris? Chuck casting out there, and Charlie be casting out there, and Mary be sitting here watching. No, Mary would be preparing the line in Google. She's got a kind of a neat thing today. But let's get this baby down to a slow idle. Boy, that's the way you want to troll it. You don't have to back troll this way. Just kind of put it right down there. And boy, if that isn't picking them up, laying them down, my goodness, my goodness. Now the gas tank, we've got to deal with the gas tank. And Chris, could you explain a little bit more about the gas tank deal? This has a pressure. You explain it, Chris.
Well, back, in the early motors, they used gravity to bring the gas into the carburetor. But they always had the gas tanks on the top of the motors, and some of them into the late 50s still had that. But in the early 50s, they brought on a new system that was called a pressure system, and they had two lines going to them. And one of them is air, and the other one is fuel. And what it did was there's a little diaphragm in the motor that put air down through one of the tanks, or through one of the lines into the tank, and pressurized the tank, and then it pushed the gas out of that tank and into the engine. And then in 1961, Evinrude changed that, and there's no more pressure tanks, and they went to a one-line system with the bulb that gave it, that primed it, and then they had fuel pumps on them from that point on. So this is still one that's a pressurized tank system.
That's really interesting. We got two. There's Mary, daughter Mary, and grandson Charlie here. Hi, Charlie.
Hello.
Gotta throw that anchor out, and then we're going to come with a new, well, Mary, could you explain this with line and kugel now?
We're going to take a Berry Wise line and kugel and a Summer Shandy line and kugel. Please, can I assist me with the cup? And we're going to mix the two of them together to make what they say tastes like a pink lemonade.
Pink lemonade.
It's 50-50 is what you're
50-50.
supposed to
Could
do.
we have another one, please? Oh, I got a lot of foam on there. Sorry about tipping.
Pour in half of one and then half the other.
Oh, it's amazing what these the brewers art up in Chippewa Falls, Minnesota can produce.
That's better.
They produce some wonderful beers.
It does make a nice color.
We did have a big sale, and the sales crew that comes in and handles the sales for us brought us in. I can't imagine how many cases of line and kugel, but they live right next door to Chippewa Falls. Oh, well, should we toast it and see how it is? Wonderful. Oh my goodness, boy, does that have a nice flavor to it. Oh,
it
boy.
is.
Well,
Well, here's
wow.
to that pink lemonade.
Here's to those brewers. The brewers aren't there, that's for sure.
tell
How
them
come
to
these other beer
tell them to
companies?
try it.
How come the other beer companies can't come up with something like this? That's
Beer-
what I'd like to know.
Pure stupidity.
Line and Kugel, that's our beer, folks. I guess that's the end of the show today. But you know what? Like good old Virgil Ward would say, goodbye and so long and good fishing to you from Clear Lake, Iowa.